Gotcha.
Hey guys, welcome back to the No Holds Barred Network with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the EVP Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, the Queen of the Indies. And it would be great if the Skype would work, there we go, with my guests. We're just having technical issues today. Can't deal. So I'm your stressed out host as always, pretty much. But today I'm joined by my special guest, Griffin McCoy. How are you? Are you there? Are you frozen? Oh no, are you messing with me? You're totally messing with me. Oh my god, we're having technical issues today. Oh, there you are. What is going on?
I don't know.
What is... Wait, are we there? Are we good?
Gods are saying, Griffin McCoy's on a podcast. Nah, get that guy out of there. We don't need a Griffin McCoy podcast.
And I feel like we're just having one of those days today with the damn internet. I don't know what is going on. So hopefully everything works out. So, Griffin, how are you? It's one of those days.
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm here. I hope I'm being seen right now.
You're here.
I'm doing good.
You're here. Awesome. Guys, make sure you share the stream. Get some people in here. I'm sure Griffin will be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have for him. You can bust his chops if you like. He actually is looking for it from all you guys.
Oh, yeah. I love to talk big shit. That's one of my favorite things to do. So,
yeah,
bring it on.
Definitely. So guys, if you're new here for the Under the Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, referees, everything behind the scenes and all that. Let me know in the chat if it becomes an issue, then I'll just kill the stream live and I'll do it offline with Griffin if it seems to be a problem today. I don't know, maybe because it's going to be raining, maybe that's an issue. I mean, it looks okay on my end, but just let me know if there's any problems. So hopefully everything's good, Griffin. If there's any issues, we'll cut the stream, we'll record offline, and then I'll upload it after. So, but I think we're good right now. So let's start off this interview. I like to ask everybody this for people that don't know you. Like, how did you get into professional wrestling?
So I got into professional wrestling. It was kind of like a long process, I would say. Initially, how I found out of professional wrestling wasn't through WWE or any of the video games or anything like that. It was through the movie Nacho Libre starring Jack Black, an American classic. But I watched that movie when I was like, whenever it came out. I was very young, 5 or 6 at the time. And I loved Jack Black. And then I loved him in Nacho Libre. And just even like watching just wrestling in the movie was very captivating with like the masks and the characters and personas and stuff. And then from there, I kind of just like saw it throughout my childhood a little bit. I lived in San Diego for a few years. And so that is total like Rey Mysterio country. Like, people love Rey Mysterio down there. Like everyone had like a Rey Mysterio backpack or everyone had like a Rey Mysterio mask. And, like even luchadors in general were popular in San Diego because I lived like 15 minutes from the border. So, I was always introduced like through that. And eventually I moved to Philadelphia when I was 10. I actually was flipping channels one day and I saw like a rerun of Raw.
Oh, wow.
And I was hooked from there on. I'm like, oh, like I finally found this thing that I've been like always kind of seen, but never knew how to like actually find it. And then I actually found it when I was like 10 years old, just flipping through channels one day, and I was hooked ever since.
Oh, wow. Do you remember like what it was that like the match that kind of pulled you in?
Yeah. I don't even know if it was Raw. It might have been like a SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like undashing Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan when he was like total vegan guy. Michael Cole was like just roasting Daniel Bryan every week about being vegan and being like a nerd or something, and just like it was during like that phase. You know, like CM Punk was so big. It was like
Right.
it was like kind of like around that time. It's like one of my, I don't know if it was the exact first thing, but it was one of
Right.
like my earlier memories of like watching professional wrestling.
It's so crazy. And like wrestling's like crazy now, right? Like we just had this insane weekend of wrestling. And
Oh my God, yeah, it's insane.
it's just so nice to see. I mean, I was talking about this on our Ollie podcast review, and I was talking about that I saw a tweet on Twitter that somebody was like, it's so nice to see on social media that everybody's happy talking about wrestling finally, right? Like there's so much negative, and then it's like, can we focus on the positive?
So
And I feel like this weekend was just an explosion of wrestling. And that's got to mean something for you guys too, like in this big like AEW world that we have. You know, and for you guys, like it gives you hope also, right? Like that could be the platform that you could be at in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's just even nice to see that people are like giving a shit about wrestling again. Because like obviously like the fans have always been there, but recently with like CM Punk coming back and especially like the All Out pay-per-view, there was a lot of crossover in just the mainstream media. Like I saw like ESPN and like Bleacher Report and like other just random news sites tweeting or like posting about it on social media. And so like even having that crossover appeal, which I think made wrestling so popular, was that it had like a crossover appeal for so long. But just because of pandemic and, you know, just all the stuff the past couple of years, I feel like wrestling has been a little more in the shadows. But I feel like this past, month or so has really brought a lot of eyes back to wrestling, or even brought some like new eyes to wrestling, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like a lot that I see as well with fans. Like they'll be like, oh, I brought this person that never watched wrestling and they saw this, and even I feel like that's also big even with me with the independent scene, is me bringing over people who are not familiar with the indies. And this is why like I do a lot of these interviews that might not be aware of you. And then like I said, like even something like AEW Dark or Elevation, that we see a lot of the people that are in the independent scene right now getting a shot on that, which is great.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it's fantastic,
It's a beautiful thing. It's all full circle. So let me give some love in the chat. I see you tripping balls. He goes, he thought I forgot. I love it.
Yo, ask him who would win in a 1v1 right now.
Ooh.
Who would win in a 1v1 right now?
I love it. So let me go into this, because I feel like this kind of brings us back into this interview. I wanted to get all you guys from Young, Dumb, and Broke on for like a while, so it's nice that I've been getting you guys one by one. Eventually, later down the line, I'll have all you guys together, which will be a fun interview as well. But I brought up to you in the DM that my 100th episode of Under the Ropes, I had Anthony Gangone on here, which you're very familiar with. Yes. And I brought up the fact, because I've had him on here a couple of times on the Under the Ropes series. He was my first interview. I had him come back somewhere midway, and then I had him come back for 100 because I feel like he's very important to me when it comes to the independent scene. Now, I asked him, because we always talk about different things, and I asked him about up-and-coming talent. So I'm going to quote what he said, because I purposely went back to go quote what he said. He goes, I believe one day he will be a bigger star than what he is now. I feel he doesn't get as much play, and hopefully that changes. So, your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Because you mentioned it, but I didn't know he said that.
Yeah.
That's super cool, man. Like, Anthony Gangone is a highly underrated wrestler and mind in wrestling right now, especially like independent wrestling.
Yeah.
I've known him for like most of my career. Like, just looking back on it, like, man, I've known this guy for like about 95% of my career. Like, I've known him like in the young bull days of just coming up on like the New Jersey, New York indie scene. And but yeah, like I've been able to wrestle him like I think just like once or twice. I had like one singles match with him over like last summer, which was really dope. But yeah, it's super humbling, but also like super motivating to hear someone like that, give me that praise or give me that credit. Because like an OG like that, especially OGs in the wrestling business, it's not all of them want to like show love like that. Yeah. And to be able to get love, it's it's what every young wrestler wants to hear, pretty much.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. That's why I wanted to bring that up, and that's why I didn't want to tell you exactly what he said, and I wasn't sure if you were going to go back and go listen to the episode, but I figure I'd just tell you that, like, he dropped that, but I wanted really to get that raw reaction from you because I figure you would really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm so glad. Like I said, Gangon's very important to me when it comes to independent wrestling because I feel like if it wasn't for him, like, I wouldn't know all the different types of wrestling that's out there in the indies. I didn't realize, like, outside of New York, how much indies was in New Jersey. And I feel like I should just move to Jersey because I'm there every weekend. I feel like that bridge is expensive.
I feel you.
That bridge is expensive.
It is.
But definitely. More love in the chat. Nasty Leroy's in there. He goes, sup, Griffin. David Russell says hi. So what's up, guys? So good cop, bad cop. What's up?
What up, my boy Nasty, yo?
Yeah, so great.
My G.
He's such a great guy. Finally got to meet him at the last GCW show. It was so nice. So what I like to ask, because, like, again, I can always form my opinions and, like, what I like out of you guys, but I like to leave it to you guys as a wrestler. For a fan that's never seen you wrestle before, what is the go-to match that you feel that they should go and watch?
Ooh, go-to match that they should watch from me. I'll throw my boy Christian Robinson a bone. I'm just playing. But now me and him had a match. This is off the top of my head. I could probably list more, but, like, Christian and I had a match at it was a Dojo Wars Super Show. It was main event. And it was like a Falls Count Anywhere match. And like leading up to that, we had like a couple matches previous, and they just they were aight, but I don't know. Just we thought it would mesh a lot better than it did. But then when we got to this main event, like Falls Count Anywhere, big blow off feud or whatever, like that match went, it went hard. It went nuts. I think you got to see like a more aggressive side that previous to that, because that was like a year and a half ago or something like that, like you never really saw. I think now, like, it's starting to show a lot more my aggression or my like competitive side that, it's a pretty dominant trait in my personality, but I've always like kind of shied away from it a little bit. But I think that match was kind of like a big influence into how I wrestle now and like how I want to be portrayed, or how I want people to look at me. I think a lot of people assume a certain thing, and the reality is like a little bit different than what they expect, Nice. So that was definitely a go-to match of mine.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, I always like to hear like your opinions, because I feel like a lot of you, just being friends with a bunch of you guys, are so critical on your matches. I get it all the time. Like, I'll think something's amazing, and then I'll be hearing from the person like, no, it sucked, let me critique it.
Yeah, no, I think most wrestlers are their own worst critic.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I do, I love me, but I also hate it when I wrestle sometimes. Sometimes I cannot even stand it, but, it can be rough.
I bet. I definitely hear it. But it's always nice, like, again, like, for someone that's never seen you before, like, given that option so they can go check out and they think that's your best work. So definitely go check it out if you guys haven't seen it as well. So
it's free on YouTube, brother.
There you go. Like, you can't go wrong with that with all the platforms that's out there. It's ridiculous now. So let's talk a little bit about Young, Dumb, and Broke. We talked about with Charlie. So I'd love to talk about you. Like, how did Young, Dumb, and Broke start for you?
So Young Dumb, I don't know how far back he went, but like, so obviously me, Ellis, Charlie, and Jordan, like, we're all clearly best friends.
Yeah.
But like, I've known Ellis and Charlie since I was 10 years old. I met Jordan when I was around like 15. And like, so me, Charlie, and Ellis, we when I moved to Philadelphia, like just outside of Philadelphia, we all lived in the same neighborhood, and we all lived within a quarter mile of each other. Like, Ellis lived about 4 houses up from me on the other side of the road. Charlie lived another block up, like, just like literally another block up to the right. And so I've known them for a very long time. And at first we all like weren't friends. Like, we were always cool, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I've fought Ellis a couple times, like just on some, young bull shit. But eventually we all started, like, we joined the wrestling team together, and we all found out that we all like professional wrestling. And then we all just became like, brothers, like after that immediately. And we all just started hanging out, just talking about wrestling, watching wrestling. And that, like, obviously developed through high school. And a bit. And, we had like a YouTube channel and stuff, and we actually started traveling around for backyard wrestling. And eventually one day we met Jordan Oliver up in Newburgh, New York. And we always heard about Jordan. And I know me and Ellis did not like him, like, at all. We were like, I don't know who this fucking Jordan Oliver guy is. But if he gets serious out there, we might have to ride on this guy. But we ended up meeting him. He was super cool. And I don't know how we all ended up becoming, like, that close immediately. But I think we all just, like, well, we're all different people, and, we all have, like, different views. We all share a similar mindset when it comes to wrestling and life, like, there's just, like, a mental and almost, like, spiritual bond between all four of us, just, it's kind of hard to explain. It's just, like, I just click with those guys, and we all just, like, click with each other, even though, like, honestly, we don't even get to see each other, like, a whole lot anymore, just because we're all, like, booked in different places now.
Right.
But I don't know. Every time I see those guys, it's just like putting on a nice pair of socks, that you've worn a million times. Or I don't know but I don't know what's the best analogy. But it's I see those guys, and, like, we pick up right where we left off. Like, just the chit chatter, the banter, busting each other's balls, just the love of wrestling. It's always there. No,
that's nice. It's definitely like that nice feeling, that comfort, right? That especially, like, even if you work against each other in the ring, like, you'll always have that chemistry because you guys are so close, which is so nice. So, and speaking of which, Charlie's in the chat. He's got a question for you.
Say the master of cheese, Chuck Feline.
He goes, which jellies would you put on your jelly art palette? I can't with you. You guys are a hot mess. Oh no, what is happening with Skype? It's like cutting out. We're losing connection, which is weird. Okay.
Oh my god.
There we go. I don't know what's going on with Skype today. It's Skype because everything else is fine. Jesus. Okay, so are we, like, there? We're gonna have to, like, okay. So did you hear my question with Charlie? Or do you want me to repeat it?
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Okay, so Charlie wrote, which jellies would you put on your jelly art palette?
Oh, yeah. So, man. I don't know how many jellies go on a palette or how many things would go on a palette, but let's just call it 5. So Trader Joe's strawberry jam. I don't know how many people have Trader Joe's. It might be a little more regional, but it's like national, I think, now. But Trader Joe's strawberry jam preservatives, delicious. It's my go-to. I got this mint jelly in the fridge that's really good with, like, lamb. I had lamb this weekend, and mint jelly is really good with that. Mm-hmm. There's this fig spread preservative that you can get at, like, Whole Foods. You can get a lot of places. I forget what it's called, but it's, like, really popular. And that's really good when you're doing, like, a nice charcuterie board. Okay. But Charlie already knew that. But what else?
You guys got to troll each other all the time.
I love me a good apricot. Yeah. No, that's how it is, man. But apricot jam. And then I'm going to go with, I had this cherry branch jam. Mm-hmm. And it was like whole cherries and kind of like jelly. But it was really good. I don't even know the brands, but, like, they just been in my fridge, and I had them. And those are probably, like, my top 5 right there.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to another question. So let's talk about a little bit about NFW. NFW has been another home for me. I love Cody. You and Charlie just was at No More Tears against the Vlog Boys. So let's talk a little bit about that and your experience with it.
So yeah, that was our official in-ring debut for NFW. That was awesome. You know, me and Charlie, we like kind of get the tag a little bit, but it happens like sporadically. Mm-hmm. But it's always fun to team with Charlie because we just get to beat people up. And you know, we definitely got to beat those vlog guys up a little bit. It was a you know, I had a good time beating those guys up, which was fun. But yeah, no, NFW is really cool. I known Cody for a couple years. I wrestled for him, or we all wrestled for him for Wild Zero a couple years back up in New York. That was a really dope experience. But yeah, no, debuting for NFW is awesome. We're coming back on October 17th. I'm pretty sure that's the right date.
16th. 16th. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. Shh, I got you. I can't. Oh my goodness, what is going on with Skype? You know what? Let's try this. We're going to hang up with Griffin. We're going to hang up. I'm going to hang up, Griffin, and we're going to try this again. We're going to redial you. We're going to see if that... It's got to be Skype. All right, hold on. We're going to hang up. And I'm going to call you back. We're going to see if that works, because I don't know what is going on, because the internet's good now. All right, so we should be good now. All right. Are you there?
Are we good?
I think we're good. You're there. All right. So we're going to see.
All right.
Hopefully it's better. So I don't know what's going on with Skype. Everything's good with the internet. We're good. We're streaming. We're fine. So this is a Skype issue. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about 4th of July. Let's talk GCW. I love talking about this with Charlie. You guys had a bunch of crazy spot fests. We talked about the pool with him. It's just been nuts. Let's talk about GCW and like everything that 4th of July has to do with it.
But that GCW July 4th show was something else. I got chucked in that pool like 3 times. It was refreshing. Mm-hmm. It was a hot day out. It was nice. Yeah, Big Vin, dude just yokes me at the end of the match, like unprovoked. I was just hanging out for that match. You know, I don't know if anyone remembers, but I was just kind of hanging out. You know, I was there. I was partying. I had my swim trunks on. I had a couple Coors Light on me because, you know, I'm a red-blooded American. But I took like a RKO off the top into the pool from Malachi Jeffers. You know that guy. He's a good kid. But now when he was covering me into that pool, geez, man, that was rough. This is how shallow that pool was. Like, maybe they talked about it a couple of times, but there's literally about that much water in that pool.
That's because
getting either like
that's because all you guys were going in the pool. They bought some. That's what it is. You guys were all going in there. Yeah, but you guys.
We were the first. We were the first match, so no one should have. There should have been the full capacity water in it. They bought some janky pool off of somewhere, you know, and then like I guess it just wasn't retaining water like the one thing it's supposed to do. And there was literally about like a foot. Yeah, it's a solid foot, but it's a foot of water. And going off the top, you know, that's like a solid like if you're standing on top, falling, that's like 10 feet, you know. I'm a solid 6'1", like going from the top to the floor, like that's a far drop. And even when I took that choke slam, I swear I thought I saw my light flashing before my eyes. Like I was suddenly off my feet in the air, being like thrown, and then sensation of just like falling. Like it was like one of those movie moments of just like total like slow motion of just like wow. Like I hope I don't die. And I definitely hit bottom, but it wasn't too bad. You know, I'm kicking now. You know, I haven't been paralyzed yet. Maybe if I sneeze wrong, that'll trigger something and I'll be paralyzed forever. But as of right now, I'm chilling.
Somebody must have poked holes in the pool. That's it. That's what they did. They poked holes in the pool.
Yeah, someone.
It had
Charles Mason. I don't think he was there, but that dude probably showed up early. He's like, I got my scissors, yo. I'm gonna plot, try to kill some people out here.
Yeah, that sounds like a Charles Mason thing that he would do. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Well, since you brought up Charles Mason, let's talk about JCW, which I love JCW. I'm so glad that they are back. It's been really great thing. Me and Charlie talked about it last week. Again, you have all these new up and coming talent, which I really, really enjoy. Then you have people like Arcadia, who's been coming out of retirement, showing up.
Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like, I love everything that JCW offers. It's so great. And me and MLJ got to talk about Battle Bowl, which was definitely a fun experience. It was something different that we're not used to. And you got teamed up with Charlie, which was amazing also. So what are the odds of that? Oh boy. Are we there? We might.
No, not again.
Oh my god. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. Like, if it happens like one more time, maybe I should cut the stream and just try to record the rest of this offline. So, I mean, I think you're good. Are you there? Like, it's got to be Skype because everything's working.
Yeah, now I'm here.
Okay, so.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Skype, man. Yeah. I didn't pay off the right people before this.
Oh my god. I don't know what's going on today. But yeah, let's go back to like the whole JCW experience. Like, you guys have been there a lot, you know? So, you know, your thoughts about everything.
Just like JCW in general?
Yeah, anything like you want to talk about again, because like we've already had like a couple of shows already with JCW.
Yeah.
It's been a really good thing.
But no, JCW, it's really cool how many young guys have been able to like have a platform like that.
Yeah.
You know, and especially just like there is a cool mix of young up and comers and like, you know, random veterans that you would never expect. You know, like Slayer was there, which was cool. But yeah, no, I love JCW. I think it's definitely like, you know, it's interesting. I think that's like a show where you can just like try a bunch of different things. It feels like the show where it's like, hey man, like it's almost the experimental show.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I love JCW. So if you guys haven't watched JCW, it's like, it's free. It's on YouTube. Definitely go check it out. Like, you'll see like a whole bunch of people that I've had on the podcast.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah, I love it. It's just great. It's like, you know, it's a great way to get people, and then moving on, especially if you see guys go over to GCW who haven't been on GCW, and now a lot of people that are working JCW now we're seeing in GCW, which is great because Brett bought GCW for anybody that doesn't even know how that works as well. Well, you know what? Let me go back to GCW with you because I want to talk about the clusterfuck with Joey Janela with you. Like, that's got to be fun though. Like, I know a lot of people are like kind of iffy even about scrambles. Like, I hear multiple things. People like scrambles, people don't like scrambles. And then you have this clusterfuck as Joey Janela. So let's talk a little bit about that, like last year for you. How was like, you know,
yeah, the clusterfuck, definitely a clusterfuck. In the best way possible. Because me, Ellis, and Charlie all entered together as one. Mm-hmm. We came in there and just like wrecked house. We like dropped Jimmy Lloyd on his head. Always fun.
Yeah.
I think we beat up Black, now known as Cora Jade. Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, but, no, you're good. Yeah, you're right. You're good. The Lady Black.
But you know, that was cool. But yeah, no, it was fun. We got into it with Marco Stun a little bit. You know, I don't know. We're gonna fight that guy one day because I don't know if anyone remembers at this point. But before we originally went into lockdown, what was it called? We were headed into that WrestleMania in Tampa.
Yeah.
And at Joey Janela's Spring Break 4, I believe. Yeah, I think that was the one. But it's supposed to be Young Dumb versus Jurassic Express.
Yeah.
And obviously, everything happened. And that match never happened. But, I know it will one day. And it'll possibly just happen on a grander stage, I would assume.
Yeah.
If that's the way it might out. So you never know. But yeah, the clusterfuck was really fun. I don't know how we got eliminated. We probably eliminated ourselves, but strategically. I don't remember how it happened, but I know we had a reason for it. But yeah, no, clusterfuck was really fun. Even that it was the first collective that happened. That was in Indiana, and like that whole experience was oh man, that was a really fun like half a week. Just everyone being there, especially seeing everyone after like for the first time in like months to like a year at that point, because we were already in lockdown for like a hot minute. But yeah, no, that the collective overall in Indiana was super fun, super dope.
Yeah, definitely fun. Well, I mean, I hope, like you said, you never know what's going to happen, right? And like, there's that possibility. And a lot of the AEW people, they show back up in the indies, which is so nice to see. It's really, really cool. And I know like QT Marshall loves to send over people from the indies. And he had said that, we want our people to work in the indies too. So it's great. And I feel like, with AEW that they scout a lot of indie talent, because I feel like, they didn't forget where they came from, I feel like. So you never know. So that could happen. You never know. You see Joey Janela, you see Orange Cassidy, Moxley showing up at freaking GCW. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So I do hope that happens to you. I think I just saw that Marco Stunt's going to show up at GCW. I forget, was it the New York
He's
show?
going to be at Emo Fight.
Yeah.
He's going to be at Emo Fight. So I don't know.
I think you should show up.
Watch your back, Marco.
You should just show up and, kind of.
Oh, no, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Awesome. I'll be there. I got my ticket for Emo Night today. Kylie's in the chat, says, hi, Flipper McCoy. I love it. So let's talk about another promotion that's very dear to my heart, H2O. I talk a lot about it. I do a lot of stuff for H2O. You guys always see on the Indie Talks episodes as well. I'm backstage. I'm interviewing people. I interview a lot of the kids. But you got to work Sean Henderson show. I love Sean. He's just great. So weekend at Sean's too. So you worked the 3-way with Reed and Whisper. Like, I love them both dearly.
Yes.
So that had to be a fun experience for you. But again, we have all this up and coming talent. So here we go. Here's that question to you, since we talked about it with Gangone. Who, out of Tremont's students that you would love to have a feud with? Because it's insanity. And everybody's different. It's not all the same style. And that's what I like about a lot of the students. You have your Flippy, you have your mat wrestling, you have your Haas. You have every type of styles in these students. So is there anybody that has caught your eye?
So obviously I've wrestled Marcus Mathers at this point, Dylan McKay, Steve Sanders, all three of those guys, studs. Marcus calls us bozos a lot, so
Yes.
it'd be fun to beat him up, but just personally, we've touched a couple times in the ring. But just to personally lay a beating on him, that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, no, as you aforementioned, Reed Walker, that kid, I think he's only been wrestling 10 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think, at the point that I wrestled him, he said he was 8 matches in or something.
Yeah.
And it's become like a running joke around just dudes who know him.
Yeah.
But everyone says oh, Reed Walker, that kid's money, yo. So I love to get in the ring 1-on-1 with Reed Walker. That kid is a stud. But obviously Marcus is a stud.
Yeah.
Dylan's sick. Steve is the man.
Yeah.
Ryan Redfield, I've been seeing some stuff that he's been doing. That kid's a pretty solid wrestler.
Yeah.
I like Ryan. But yeah, I like those guys. Like those are like probably like my top 5 right there, just off the top of my head though.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the H2O school has put out like consistently like a good bit of talent as of recently, and like that's all stems from like the training that Matt's.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just left though, but like they have some good people there, and obviously like when you have good people, it attracts good wrestlers.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch these talents evolve, and I feel like I've been finding myself a lot with a lot of the younger talent because it's crazy to me, and we have talent that's like 16 years old, like Billy Starks, and oh god, I'm like blank right now of his name. We have all these like kids, young kids, like up and coming, and I can only imagine like what it's going to be like within the next couple of years of what they're going to do. And Reed, who's you guys, if you've seen, like I've had him on the podcast too, so you can check out that interview as well on Under the Ropes. Like you're right, like he talked about it. He's like a year in now, and he's just getting like better and better, and it's just crazy like the matches that they've been having. And Ryan, I would love for you and Ryan to get into the ring. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And even the kids that are in the Undiscovered, it's like if you guys haven't gone, go down there, go check it out. For $5, you can't go wrong. Those kids. Rocket, I could see you having a really good match with too. He is very high flying and fast.
Yeah. Yes. I can't believe I forgot his name too. But yeah, I've been hearing a lot about him. I've seen splits too. Like that kid's got seems like he's got something to him. So
yeah, my
definitely
boys.
like to mix up with him as well.
They're all my boys. Everybody jokes around. They said that those are my step kids. So like I love it, but it's crazy, right? Like all these. I mean, you guys are young. Like I'm so much older than you guys. Like so, but
yeah,
it's crazy to watch you guys evolve. So with that being said, like where do you see yourself within like the next 5 years from now?
In 5 years, I will be 26 years old. So by that point in time, I seriously think I will have a contract somewhere. Even if I don't have a contract, I will be getting contract offers like by 26. I fully expect to either be under contract or because honestly, like I see the indies going through like, if everything keeps going the way it's going, I can see it going through like another boom period. Mm-hmm. Where I think for a while there weren't as many indie companies, or just I don't know, just something was a little off, and but obviously everything has its high points and low points. Yeah. Everything undulates throughout time, but I think it was maybe like in a little bit of a dip for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think now, and especially in the next however many years, probably like 3-4 years, we'll start like really taking off again. And I think like a lot of wrestlers will be able to make a living off the indies, because I know as I was coming in, or even like a little bit before, like you had the guys like Adam Cole, Kevin Steen, like Roderick Strong, the Young Bucks, and they were all starting to like they did Ring of Honor and stuff like that, but like Ring of Honor wasn't even like on TV all the time being nationally broadcasted. It was still considered like an indie, like obviously one of the biggest indies in the world, but still, I think in the next few years, I think independent wrestling will get to that point again of popularity and hype, and just having the option for to have this be like more wrestlers to have an opportunity to be able to like make a living off the indies and be able to take it to like new hubs and stuff like that.
Well, I definitely.
But by 26 though, yeah. But
God, I feel so
by
old.
26, I should definitely be. No, it's all good.
I feel so old.
But,
it's like I talk to like all you guys, like, oh God, I feel so old. Like, no, it's pretty cool though. But I do think like that we're kind of at that point though, because I feel like, look at like again, we talked about this weekend, and I feel like it opened up a lot of eyes in the indies, and I feel even though we had the pandemic and we got hurt, we still got wrestling. And even something like Fight Forever, that we saw the 24-hour pay-per-view, that you guys were on as well, which was such a cool experience to watch. And even though that there was no fans, and that had to be hard missing as well, not wrestling in front of a fan base. But you had us on social being loud for you guys. So, and then it's impossible with all the shows that are out there that I can't clone myself and come and support all you guys all at once, which is hard. So,
yes.
But I got all your guys back, definitely. So let's also talk about this. So we talked about, like, you've been in singles, you've been in tags, you've been in scrambles, you know, you've been in the pool. So what?
Yeah, I've been in the pool.
What type of match is on your bucket list that you haven't done that you would like to do?
So this is probably a little bit of a ways off, but definitely Hell in a Cell. I've always wanted to do Hell in a Cell, like, ever since I was a kid. Like, I've always thought Hell in a Cell was, like, one of the coolest, like, most, like, intense matches. Maybe not so much anymore. There have been some pretty intense Hell in a Cells recently. You just have to go find them. Like, New Day and the Usos had one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen. But yeah, Hell in a Cell for one. 60-minute Iron Man match is another big one for me. A lot of the wrestlers that, like, especially independent wrestlers that really inspired me to become a wrestler, like the Bryan Danielson and the CM Punks, obviously those guys they're superstars now, but, like, when I was like 14, I would love just spending hours just watching, like, these long, like, 40-minute, 50-minute, 60-minute, like, marathon matches that held these guys, like the Nigel McGuinness, Austin Aries, Davey Richards, like, all these guys they were machines. Yeah. And even the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart match, that match is, instant classic, but I've always been a fan of, like, the longer matches, like, I think those are, like, the real battles, the real, like, where wrestling really is sport is displayed in those matches. Right. And so, Hell in a Cell, 60-minute Iron Man.
Okay.
It's kind of a big jump, but
hey, listen.
Spectrum, but those are probably...
No, don't ever say never, because you never know what could happen, right? Like, I'm a big believer in that. And let's talk about, like, Jordan Oliver had a freaking 2-hour Iron Man match with Tony Deppen. Like, so you never know what could happen. So I think they're great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we just saw Yuta and Daniel Garcia on the IWTV 100 do an Iron Man match, and it was hot as hell in that building. So I give them a lot of credit, and I give you guys a lot of credit for what you guys do.
That building gets hot as hell, man. Either hot as hell or cold as hell. Like, there's no in between. Temperature. So it's either way too hot or it's way too cold.
I know. So we have a fan tweet from Good Cop, Bad Cop. He goes, "What other Griffins are on your Mount Rushmore of Griffins along your side?" He loves to, like, pop all my guests. So I don't even know. What is that supposed to mean?
I could not tell you how many other, like, popular Griffins there are. There's that dude Griff Garrison, but he doesn't even really count, He's Griff. Like, he's not Griffin. That dude's like an imposter Griffin. He's just Griff. Like,
he's an imposter.
It might even be short for Griffin.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It can be whatever the hell else you can. But yeah, I don't know too many other Griffins, man. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
It's pretty much just me. You only need one face on Mount Rushmore. Well,
That's
I'll be it.
You're the important one.
It ain't a bad face.
There you go. You're the important one. Yeah. So there you go. So I was told that you were into craft beer. So do you make it? Do you like? What's your favorite? Like, give us some insight.
Yes. So, like a lot of people during quarantine, everyone picked up, like, random hobbies, and one of the random hobbies I picked up was home brewing. So it was, me, my dad, and my younger brother. I don't know. My dad one day was like, "Hey, you want to give it a shot?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It seems like it'd be a very hard process." Mm-hmm. But there's, like, a local craft beer shop, maybe like 15 minutes from my house, and they give you, like, you go there, they give you, like, a whole kit. It's essentially just like a big metal pot. You get, like, a bucket that you would get at, like, Home Depot, but obviously it's kind of like, it has different stuff on it.
Yeah.
But But yeah, it's like, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just like put a bunch of like grains and like liquid malts and hops in. You boil that, you cool it down, you put it in this big like 5-gallon bucket. You leave it alone for 2 weeks because it ferments. After 2 weeks, you bottle, and that takes like an hour and a half maybe of just like bottling the liquid into like individual like, you know, glass bottles. And then you leave that alone for another 2 weeks because you put yeast in it after all that, and like that creates the carbonation. And you know, it's like a month process, but it's 2 days of work. And so far we've made, oh man, like 8 beers at this point, like 8 different types of beer. Like we've done like a pale ale, we've done like a stout, which would kind of be like a Guinness. We did most recently, we did a Belgian triple. I don't know like what a popular beer that would be, but the Belgian triple has probably been my most favorite and our most popular beer so far amongst, you know, I have other people try it, like family, friends, whoever. But yeah, Belgian triple has definitely been like our most popular and most favorite so far.
That's
but no, it's fun. We're about to make an Oktoberfest for
Oktoberfest,
obviously for October, and my birthday's in October.
Yeah,
so we're gonna do an Oktoberfest beer. So you know, it's right for the season. So yeah, we like to do like season by season. Yeah, we'll have like a fall beer, maybe a couple winter beers, spring.
Now you gotta
beers. So you know,
you gotta sell like a 4-pack and call it the Young, Dumb, and Broke. And each, you know, one has a different beer for each of you guys. Like, that'd be kind of cool. You could sell it at the shows. That'd be kind of cool. Or sell it at Tony Deppin's brewery.
Yeah, so that one I could do. I think I would need like a liquor license to do that at a show. I might get like, you know, I'm a little dumb, but you know, I definitely know you need a license for that, and I could get like, you know, seriously fined.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
So,
like,
but
hey,
yeah, but no,
check out my trunk.
yeah, right. You know, especially, you know, man, you're driving along these roads, you're bound to get pulled over at a couple points in time. You never know what's going to happen. You don't want to be caught with the wrong thing. You know, there's a lot that can happen in the in-betweens of like going from show to show.
Yeah. So
you never want to be caught with the wrong thing in your trunk.
No. It'd be funny.
No,
hey, look,
but,
I got some beer in my trunk, you know.
Yeah. It's like, I'm selling it. It's like, oh, where's your license? It's like, you don't need that, do you? But yeah, but no, that is kind of the goal one day. I know.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, I don't know how much time that would be until we do this, but we definitely kind of want to, you know, see if like local places will have our beer. Right. You know, maybe they put it on draft, or they'll have it as like a specialty draft or something, and that gets spread out through word of mouth in like the local area, and then eventually maybe there's like a demand for it, and we can start like shipping out. And then just kind of grow it from there. But this is obviously like, we're just like getting our foot in the door. We've only been doing this a year. And that's only, you know, we've only done like 8 beers total. Yeah. So we're just trying like a broad spectrum. And I think maybe in the next year or two, we're going to start experimenting and like making our own kind of blend. Because we've just been doing like, we've been following recipes. But, you know, as you get more into it, you can start developing like your own.
Yeah.
Taste or your own like flavor profile. So, you know, it's a process, but, you know, it's an investment for the future.
That's fun. That's definitely like fun thing. And who doesn't like beer? So it's always a cool thing. So since we were talking about the trunk, let's talk about it. Give me one of your best road trip stories.
Ooh. So, all right. So we already kind of referenced it a little bit earlier about this whole jelly thing, which is like, you know, I assume most of you guys were like, what the hell are they talking about with jelly?
Okay.
Like, who gives a fuck about this jelly? But so we were going to AWE, which is Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. We wrestled down there a bunch. They're a super dope company. They're running again on September 19th. I don't think I'm going to be there, but Ellis and Charlie are the longest reigning Georgia Wrestling Championship Tag Team Champions, and they'll be defending their titles in like a fatal 4-way tag against like Chip Day. Effie's in that match. Ashton Starr is tagging with them, I'm pretty sure. A couple other dudes, but it doesn't matter because the boys are going to win.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're going to be there September 19th. I don't know if I'll be at that one, but I'll be there on October 17th when Buddy Murphy is going to be wrestling there. So,
That's so
who knows?
awesome.
Maybe I run in on that too. But but anyways, we were going there maybe like a year or two ago. I don't know how it came up, but so let me paint this little scenario for you. So like, say you're making like some like toast, you know. Is it weird to like maybe like if you're using a fork, like a knife or a spoon to spread it, like you know, you lick a little bit of the jelly off, like the knife or the spoon. Is that weird?
No, like no, like no, I don't think that's weird. Why, you think it's weird?
Yeah. It's not weird, but apparently that a human being could do. Like, there's people who eat mayo for fun, but if Griffin McCoy eats a little bit of jelly, but essentially that turned into a 15-hour car ride because that's how long it takes to get from Philadelphia to Atlanta. It's
oof.
Of talking about jelly, and then once we get to the venue, we continue to talk about jelly for the entire show. I think ACH was on that show or whatever. I think maybe Eddie Kingston was there, and we were just talking about jelly, and they were definitely like, what are these kids talking about jelly so much for?
Oh my God.
And then another whole 15-hour car ride back of talking about jelly. And so that's about, at least probably 40 hours of jelly talk.
Oh my goodness.
Plus like a weekend, and it's been like a perpetual running
fun
joke, just like talk jelly.
So guys,
it is fun. It is fun.
Bring them jelly when you see them at these shows. If you make jelly, definitely bring it.
Definitely do that. I will try your jelly. Maybe bring some crackers or some I don't know, something
with it. I
don't think I'm gonna look at the jar. I think it's a bad look, but I'll definitely try your jelly. And hey, if we, God forbid, we go another lockdown, I might start getting into the jelly game. I already got home brewing, so
there you go. That you can sell. That you can sell at the wrestling shows.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Wrestling. Like they'll buy it. Especially if it's a good quality jelly, hey, there could be a market for it. You
never know. You never know. Who knew? John in the chat says, how many unofficial members of Young, Dumb, and Broke are there, and who are they?
Wait, can you repeat that question?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's like the stupid Skype. I said, how many unofficial members of Young, Dumb, and Broke are there, and who are they? Yeah, we are going through Skype being a butt with the internet. So, I don't know if we're gonna.
Yeah, no, I hit cut out for a minute there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I heard the first. Try one more time.
Okay, I don't know what's with Skype. If anything, then we'll cut to the end of this if it's with the question. So he said, how many unofficial members of Young, Dumb, and Broke are there, and who are they?
That's what I figured he said, but you never want to assume. But yeah, so
damn.
So for a while, there was always a revolving fifth member of Young, Dumb, and Broke. Members that are part of the Young, Dumb universe, I would say. Christian Robinson counts as one. Yeah. He embodies the Young, Dumb, and Broke spirit. People have listed Steve Sanders as officially websites when they have our bios or whatever.
Really?
They will officially list Sanders as a part of Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Oh wow!
And sometimes one of us will be missing. I've been missing. I've been replaced by Steve Sanders, and I'm like, I love Steve, but I don't really see the comparison visually of me and Steve. So I don't know how they got that one confused, but he's honorary member of Young, Dumb, and Broke for sure. We got this one kid, Jacob Van Zant. He's just he's kind of wrestling on just the local New Jersey, New York independents right now. But if you ever see us at a GCW show or a JCW, anywhere in this area, and you see a swagged out little peep looking kid, who's fresh to death, he's with us. That's Jacob Van Zandt. He can do like a 630 across the entire ring. He's nuts, yo. But you know, gotta shout him out. Who else? Man, there's been a lot of people who've like tried to be young, dumb, and broke.
Yeah.
But they just don't got the chops. You know, a lot of people like, you know, maybe we'll break them for like a minute just because they're a placeholder.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one of us is doing something. So there's a lot of been like placeholders, but like I would say like those three guys off the top of my head, like I would be like, yo, those guys, young, dumb, and broke.
I love it.
For sure.
I love it. And that's going to be cool. I talked about this with Charlie last week. We were doing our little sing-along, young, dumb, and broke. But it's so cool. It's so cool to be at the shows. And I was at that last JCW show. And, of course, like, I was there. I was chanting for you guys. And then it's just like, then you see, like, the ones that are, like, all up in it. Like, young, dumb. It's like, it's got to be really cool, though, for you guys to, like, see that with the fans as well. It's gonna be funny.
No, it's super cool. It's super cool. Like we had one fan of the last JCW show. Like we all like, I think he bought my shirt or something. Like we all signed it, and he's like, I am getting all of these tattooed on my body, and I'm like, Jesus, like, you know, it's not the worst investment in the world. You're like, hey, I got a Griffin McCoy, Charlie Tiger, whatever, but tattoo on my body before anyone else did. But you know, overall, it's been super cool. It's funny because like these three guys are, you know, I've known them for a very long time, and like, you know, people might know us as like young, dumb, and broke or like whatever, but like traveling the roads with these guys and just like knowing them, obviously, like probably me and the fans have like different perceptions of each other, you know, like to them, they're still just like, you know, the guys, you know, they're just the guys, but it is like really cool, and I'm, you know, very blessed to like be able to have traveled the country and the world, like with my best friends, and to have people like acknowledge that, and have people just like rock with us, and just like it's almost like they're rocking with our friendship, you know, in a way. I think like that's a lot of the appeal is like of just like the characters of Young Dumb, where I think at first people didn't really like us, but I think now people are starting to come along with it. I think they see that like, you know, like, oh, these guys, bunch of hardworking kids, and you know what, they're all like, they all fuck with each other, they're all like rocking each other, they're all like, you can tell that there's the chemistry there, and I think people naturally like want to be a part of that.
Right. You
know, I think we present ourselves in a way where it's like, it's almost like a club to be in Young Dumb. You know, you gotta be, you know, not everyone's in. And I think that's what makes people want to get in with us. They're like, all right, like, you know, these kids think they're sick. You know, like we want to find out what they're sick about. You know,
That's
like
cool. And it's gonna be cool too, like even the fans. And I'm sure you see it even like when you travel, and then you'll see like even like someone like me, like I said, right? Like you'll see me at JCW, you'll see me at GCW, then you'll see me at NFW. So that's gonna be a cool experience too. Like even if you're leaving out of the state, and even if you're doing like the clusterfuck, and of course then you see these fans travel from all over the states. So that's gotta be cool too, seeing like someone that you'll see in New Jersey show up in Indianapolis or like Indiana or whatever, you know. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like, there's like, you know, shout out to a few diehards. You know, Jonesy. Like, I think even though he's, I don't know if he's based in New Jersey, but he's there like most of the time, I assume. Like I met him in like Ohio that was like the first time I ever met that guy, and it was like Ohio is where I met him. But he's always super dope. My boy Dave. You know where you at, my G. No, he's always pulling up to every show. I gotta shout out my boy Chicago Rob. You know, he's not just in Chicago, he's worldwide at this point. You know, he's traveling everywhere. But yeah, it's really cool, you know, and like it is cool to have them like kind of come around, and when you go to a place maybe you're not like super well known, like, you know, it does help have those couple like loud supporters in the crowd, because, you know, they obviously know the vibe, they rock with it, and, you know, maybe maybe they see it, they're like, I don't know necessarily what to do with this vibe. Like, they know what it is, they can tell or they can sense the presence when Young Dumb enters,
Yeah.
But some people are a little like, what do I do with this? But then, you know, understandably, but then you have those guys, you know, the diehard fans, and, you know, they're obviously impassioned, they're showing love, and then the people in return hook onto the vibe. They're like, all right, they plug in, like, oh, this is Young Dumb. So, and then they are entrapped in our snare. So
no, it's definitely cool. That's why I always say be loud, cheer for your faces, boo your heels, get all up in there. Like, I'm always getting dived at by you guys, like, just in general, like wrestlers in general. I'm the dive section. I'm always getting dived at. It's okay. Like, I'll catch all you guys. It's good. But it's a really cool experience, and all you guys are making me broke because I'm coming to support you guys, like, in person all the time. You guys are killing me.
You know what it's like now.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like I never really understood it about like 8 years ago. I used to laugh at one of my friends. I'm like, dude, you're traveling all over the freaking place for wrestling. Why? Now I got sucked in and I'm doing the same thing. So, but no, it's fun. And I love independent wrestling because you get that intimacy. And it's like, I get very happy for anybody who gets signed. But then I get sad because then I'm like, damn, I was like, I'm not going to have that one-on-one interaction with you guys. Like you said, like the meet and greets, or even like you said, the fans, like the tattoos. Like, I've been noticing a lot of people and a lot of fans of the podcast, like they'll tell me or they'll show me their tattoos of the autographs, which has got to be like you said, very, very humbling. So what a cool experience. And if you get those tattoos, send them to me because I'd love to see that, even with a Young Dumb and Broke, because that's a cool experience.
Oh yeah.
So I got 2 more questions for you. If you guys got anything else in chat, drop them. So my infamous question that I like to ask everybody: what's the craziest thing a fan's done to get your attention?
The craziest thing a fan has done. So, like, at a show, or just like
at a show? At a show.
Okay. All right.
There's got to be some fun ones.
Oh man,
there's some fun ones. I talked about some with Charlie last week.
What did he say?
He didn't have one, and of course he thought of something after the podcast. So you suck, Charlie. That's okay. We'll get him back on here when I have all you guys together, and we can talk about that. I told him the story about Jeff Cannonball throwing a whole pizza pie out the window. We talked about Joey Silver getting a baby and doing like the Simba thing, pretty much. We've had some fun interaction. I'm sure there's been stuff that, like, you've been outside into the crowd. Maybe something's happened.
Yeah. Man.
If not, that's okay too, because not everybody's got a story. But sometimes I hear some really funny stories on this podcast.
So I can't think of one in the ring, but like, I can tell you what though, I have had fans make multiple accounts to try to contact me.
Jesus.
Like, online. I've had like a lot of that. I appreciate all my fans, but I've had people like change the first name of their profile and be like, oh, this isn't me, this is my brother or something. But like, I've had a lot of those, which are I get it, like, they're enthused, and like, why wouldn't you be? But at the same time, it's still like, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that happened, like specific interaction.
That's okay. There's like I said, sometimes there's some funny stories that we hear, sometimes we don't. So, but that's okay. If you think of one when I have you guys all come back, you'll tell us on that podcast. So I like to end the interviews off with this, because there are a lot of fans out there that want to get into wrestling, or are already training to be in wrestling, or they're looking into schools or anything. But what's a piece of advice that you would give somebody who's like, amateur or inspiring wrestler?
Some real good concrete advice, like, cause like, I assume a lot of people say like, oh man, just keep pushing, never stop, whatever. And like, obviously that's all very good advice, but maybe something like concrete, I would say definitely like get in the gym, work on your conditioning. I've always been, I've always played sports, always been an athlete my entire life. But, and I did some amateur wrestling in like high school and stuff, and like, you know, I did a little bit of like kickboxing, and like obviously there's like conditioning is very key for those sports, but like, you know, some people don't really have that experience going into wrestling. You know, maybe they come from like a different background of like, you know, maybe they play basketball or football or whatever, and like obviously you need to be, you know, in really good condition to play that. But like getting into wrestling, like I would worry about like your physical like health and like, you know, making sure you're physically fit enough to be a wrestler, because, you know, you probably hear it all the time, or it's, you know, like wrestling does a number on your body.
Right.
And I've only been wrestling for about 4 years, but in those 4 years, like, thank God I have not been injured yet, knock on wood, like seriously injured to the point of like surgery.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've pulled muscles, I've torn muscles a little bit, like, you know, you're gonna, you know, I probably have some undiagnosed like sprains and stuff like that, and you know, but you don't really want to go to the doctor because it's like, I just, you know, he's just gonna put me in a cast and I won't be able to wrestle.
Yeah.
But definitely, making sure you're physically fit, conditioning, weightlifting, stretching specifically, and that's one I struggle with a lot too, because after you do your cardio and your weightlifting and what else you got to do in the day, sometimes you just want to lay down, and stretching is like, it is just as hard as any of those. But I would seriously focus on those if you are coming into the business, because, you know, you'll get in and maybe you'll start learning how to wrestle, but then you're going to hit a wall at some point of, you know, where you're at and where you want to be. And that might just come down to your physical shape in total. I'm not saying you got to go out there and be like, you know, like a bodybuilder, but I'm saying you need to be physically fit enough and physically capable enough to be a wrestler. It is not just, you know, waltzing around the ring. You know, it is physically demanding and draining, and your body needs to be able to handle that. So, you know, definitely something, you know, young wrestlers should like really look into.
No, I think that's amazing advice, because I don't think really anybody's kind of went into detail with that. I mean, sometimes you hear some of the, you know, certain things over and over again that everybody says, but I don't think anybody went into that deep of it. And, you know, like, I don't think also, and like, I'm going to say it because like, you know, I can say it and maybe like people do say it, but I'll say it like that. You guys put your bodies through like everything just to entertain us. Yeah. And it's like, I can't thank you enough for the entertainment that you give people like me, because I could never do it. And I give you guys credit, and I'm a female. So it's like, I'll always have that instinct, and anybody that knows me that has broken ankles or whatever, like I always keep tabs, like Kit Osborne, like I check in on him since he just broke his ankle.
Yeah, geez, yo, prayers up for Kit Osborne, bro.
Like I feel like everybody's
had it rough.
Yeah, so like I reach out to everybody.
If you know Kit Osborne's history, bro, that man has had it rough.
Yeah, so
I love Kit.
No, you guys bust your ass, and again, like someone like me that would never do it, but you guys do all this to entertain us, and for me, like, you know, I appreciate you guys like very, very much, you know, like
of course.
Much success to you guys, like, and don't get hurt, and I'll always be there with medkit, as I joke around with that. I'm gonna have my medkit for you guys because you guys make me nervous, and I'll sit there and cringe sometimes. But Great Harry Barnett
comes in handy.
Yeah, Great Harry Barnett is in the chat. He goes, how nice is it to have a worldwide impact now, as well with the streaming services / social media, being able to connect with the fans in other countries. That's how I know all of my US wrestling people. And he said streaming services like IWTV.
Yeah, no, it is super cool what, like, the reach that IWTV, Fight TV, you know, like, just even YouTube streaming has. Like, more and more recently, like, I've been doing, like, podcasts for, like, Spanish-speaking countries. I did, like, a Puerto Rican podcast, like, a few months ago. I did one that's, like, popular in Spain, like, you know, the country of Spain.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, so it's like, you know, I originally had a tour of the UK set for the last 2 weeks of August. However, just with like
COVID,
family and logisticals and all that stuff, and with COVID, just all that tied together, it kind of like just fell apart. But obviously, like, that was through the internet that they were able to see me. And, like, I know I'm going to be back, you know, probably, I assume, like, spring break to next summer, depending on, like, how everything goes. At least by then, maybe even sooner than that. But just with all that, you know, that was all through the internet and through all these streaming services. And, like, you know, we've had fans, or, you know, I know all of us have had fans who have, like quoted tweets or, like, commented in just, like, a totally different language. Like, I've had Japanese fans.
Oh, wow.
I've had, like, and it's, like, just seeing, like, that randomly. And you're like, wow, like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, because it could just be, like, those 4 people who know. But honestly, it could be way more than that. Like, you don't really, the crazy thing is, like, you don't really know the scope, you know, like, you may have, like, a little bit of idea, but, like, you know, like, I you know, there may be a much larger scope or maybe much smaller, but, you know, I think there's more than, you know, like, you know, who has eyes on you. Like, everyone's kind of watching, even just wrestlers too. Like, I know, just being a wrestler right now, like, I know I have my eyes, like, everywhere. You know, just seeing people, even just, like, you catch a clip, like, you know, you keep that to memory. If it's something worth, like, remembering, you're gonna remember that, even if it happens halfway across the world. Like, you're gonna remember that guy. And I know that happens a lot with just, like, fans and other wrestlers all throughout the world, like, globally, worldwide. So, you know, it's super cool. It's like, you know, it makes everything almost, like, seem within, like, arm's reach almost, which is, you know, it's a very cool concept.
Yeah, no, it's been a great way to connect even podcasters with other wrestlers, and, like you said, even vice versa. It's here, me in New York, you know, I find people in, like, the UK. It's really, really cool thing. So it's been a great, like, platform, all that stuff. Everything Pro Wrestling just came into the chat. Shout out to you. He asks, did you ever have a gimmick that almost happened for you, or idea you had for someone else?
So I guess I can go with, like, the Young Dumb gimmick itself, because, so, you know, while our song is so popular, I don't know if you guys know the other Young Dumb and Broke song. Maybe you've heard of it, by Khalid. I don't know. It was popular for a little bit. Maybe it has, like, 100 million views on YouTube. But, you know, if you ever seen the music video, it is just, like, it's set in, like, a high school. It's kind of like a Zoe 101 kind of John, where it's, like, everyone's kind of, like, you know, it's like Nick's special of, like, everyone's kind of like in my Letterman jacket, or, like, oh, I'm, like, the nerd kid, or, you know, it was kind of just like a sitcom version of, like, you know, high school. And originally, when the idea was pitched to us, we were going to embody that almost. Like, we were going to be, like, kind of more corny, or just kind of like a play on, like, a sitcom. Because we were all, like, you know, I was still in high school when the idea got pitched to me, so it kind of fit. But so Young Dumb was originally going to be, like, you know, probably just, like, not like PG, but, you know, it was going to be, like, you know, Nick at Night special, you know, like, Family Matters or something like that. Like, it was going to be more towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, luckily we were able to put in our input, and we got to mold it to who we actually are, and, like, you know, as being contemporary Young Dumb and Broke kids, we got to put our own spin on it and make it ours. So originally it was gonna be much different than what we are today.
Interesting. That was a great question, Conrad. Like, thank you for that. It was, like, really interesting perspectives. See, I didn't even know that. That's pretty awesome. So let's talk about what you got coming up. So if people want to watch you or go see you, like, we have a couple of thumbnails here for you guys. So let's talk about some of the stuff that you have coming up. So
yes,
Invictus, man. I love Invictus. Like, such a great company.
I'm excited for that one.
Oh my God. Invictus is great. Like, we were talking about that with Charlie last week. So again, you get to team up with Charlie. You got the Mucho Trouble. Those guys are hilarious. Like,
oh, it's gonna be even funnier when we beat them.
Oh.
It's gonna be even funnier because, you know, I don't know if there's, like, a video that circulated a little bit, but we were recently at Global Syndicate Wrestling a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They had their live shows, and they were doing tapings, and we were all wrestling through all of those. And they came up to us and at my merch table, and they, like, they tried to clown me and Charlie by like throwing my merch in my face or whatever, and then like we got into a little bit of a heated argument. You can find it on social media or
Twitter,
something.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like those guys, they're a little bit taller, but it doesn't mean you're like hot shit. That's all I'm saying. Those guys, like you may be big, but they're just big clowns. So I'm excited to because like obviously people are gonna see the size difference of me and Chuck to these guys, and like me and Chuck aren't small dudes by any means, but I think we're gonna really show what me and Chuck, Animal Planet, are about. Like we are the enforcers of Young, Dumb, and Broke when we team up. So, I think these guys, they think they're in for like an easy night, but they are sorely mistaken.
I love it. What else we got coming up? We got Catalyst Wrestling over there.
Yes,
it's fun.
Yes, yeah. No, that's gonna be an interesting time. It's me and my boy Black G's or G's, El Dinero de la Iglesia. He's on Power right now for NWA. He was on the first indie show that I ever saw. It was Combat Zone Wrestling's 16th anniversary. Mm-hmm. He was CZW champion at the time, and he was like, he wrestled like Chris Dickinson on that show. But that was like the first indie show, so like I've always known this dude. And then he was like my first match on the CZW like main show, where we did a 6-man of me, Ellis, and Charlie versus Blackout, which was, I can't believe that was like my first CZW match. That was pretty nuts. But he's always been a dude that we've always been like in contact a little bit, and he's always shown love, always been super cool, always willing to like share advice and like show love. Awesome guy. But we are teaming up against the Rep.
That's
Dave
gonna be
Nick Carter.
insane. Oh my god. Like shout out to the Rep too. Like I feel like they don't get enough love either. Like
not at all. They are, and everyone
so
knows
good.
Everyone, whenever anyone tweets anything, it's like, oh, the Rep is underrated. And I'm like, if all they're underrated, shouldn't that mean they're just like, rated? Like people should be like, oh yeah,
They're
if
so good.
everyone's thinking, say like, oh yeah, these guys are good, they don't get used enough.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be starting to get used more?
Yeah,
I think it's starting to come. I think it's going to happen sooner or later. But that being said though, those guys have helped me out a lot and taught me a lot, but there's probably a little part in the back of their minds where they're like, oh, we got Grip coming up. like we got this. And, like I love my dudes, they're some true mentors to me, but like, I think this is a real proving point, for myself and for Black G's, like we are going to come in there and, once again, like they may think they have the upper hand. Maybe they think they have like an easy night or whatever, but, there's going to be real competition in these matches. Like these matches, it's not going to be, bowing out. There's going to be no cowering out. Like, no, I'm standing toe to toe with every single one of these guys. I'm looking them dead in the eye, and I'm gonna smack them, and I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna talk big shit. I'm gonna talk big shit, and we're gonna see what goes down. I'm fully expecting to get into fights in every single one of these matches coming up.
I'm gonna try to come to that show.
Out of these matches.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna. Yeah, it's funny. I was at the last Capitol show that what was it in Brooklyn when you faced Leroy Green. See, I was there. See, I'm not even like a person that like doesn't know anything about you guys. Like I've been around. Like I've seen you guys like all over the place. I mean, you guys seen me, obviously. You guys see me around.
Yes.
So it's just so funny. So I'm gonna see, because I talked to Matt and I said I'm gonna let him know. So I'm gonna try to come to that show. So hopefully I'll be there. So, but definitely go check it out.
That match should be it'll be worth the price of admission by itself. I think this match will this match will be the most talked about after all is said and done for this show. I fully believe that.
I gotta get the rep on the podcast soon, so like make a list. Like there's not enough time to do interviews with everybody. Like
yeah, exactly.
It's not. I love all you guys. Like, and I just like going down my list. So, what else we got coming up? We have NCW, right? The Undisputed.
Yes.
So, you know what? I am not familiar with this promotion. So can you talk to me a little about it?
So they are coming up. It's National Championship Wrestling. They're based out of West Virginia for now, but I know we're going to be moving to like the Philadelphia area sooner rather than later. But they're an up and coming promotion. A lot of like not like unheard of, but just like kind of unseen talent from places where they draw from like Maryland, and then like obviously they got a couple from West Virginia, New York, and then just like a lot of young guys, and not a lot of people know about it, but it's on Fight TV, starting to get a little bit more exposure. Obviously, they brought the top guy in, so they're trying to build their brand. But yeah, like there's honestly a lot of like up and coming talent on these shows, and I think you're going to be able to like get the jump on the next like people you're going to be seeing if you watch this show. A lot of dudes where it's like I never heard of him, but you watch this guy, like, oh, people are going to be talking about this guy pretty soon. Like these are the guys who are on this show for the most part.
Awesome. Definitely got to check that out. I'm always loving to look up new promotions that like I never seen. And it's like, again, there's always something with all people, with anything. If there's things you don't like, I'm sure you'll find something else you will like with all the promotions that out there. So, and I know you have, like we said, NFW's coming up, and then you have some other stuff you said that's coming up that's not announced yet. So
yes, but catch me on Hybrid Wrestling, catch me on JCW, catch me on Global Syndicate Wrestling. Definitely coming back to AWE sometime soon, and many more, but just the posters haven't come out yet.
So with that being said, tell everybody where they can follow you so that they know where you're gonna be at.
So you can follow me at Instagram and Twitter, all at the Griffin McCoy, all one word. If you want to email me about booking inquiries, or if you want to buy my sick t-shirt or 8x10s, you can email me at griffin.mccoysf@gmail.com, or you can obviously DM me through Instagram or Twitter as well.
Awesome. All those links are in the description below. Remember, go support all your indie peeps. I love it. Yes, I'm glad Skype stopped being a butt for whatever reason. So we had a lot to chat about, and I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I'm sorry, like whatever happened with like the internet and Skype and all that stuff like that, but it was just an amazing chat. I mean, geez, we almost went an hour and a half talking. So I can't wait to have like all you guys come on together, because that's gonna be just fun, because I bet there's gonna be so much bickering and poking the bear at each other, so you guys can look out for that.
We were talking about Clusterfucks before. That was
I'm ready for it. You guys seen, I've had the rejects all at one shot with me, and that was a clusterfuck. So I'm ready for the clusterfuck of Young, Dumb, and Broke. So with that being said, Ellis will be on next week. So we'll chat with him. We'll talk about his dog, Tiny. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
We need some wholesome content.
My niece, Tiny.
I love it. So, guys, thank you again for watching. Stay safe. Support independent wrestling. Support Griffin. Go bring him some jam. Okay, at the next show that you see him, because he'll eat it for you.
Yo, please do. If you do bring some jam, man, that I will be impressed. But hey, that better not be some like bottom shelf kind of
don't
stuff.
bring up that Welch shit.
I'm a so yeah. Don't bring me on that Smucker shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a bougie boy at heart. There, bring me some like top notch. I ain't no average Joe. That's all I'm saying. You have to come find me in December when I do my cookie fest, because then I'll probably make my my Italian cookies with the jams in between. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's
Okay,
like, yeah, with the apricot and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So come
Yeah.
fight me. I'll probably be at H2O giving those because, like, you know, Tremont joked around with us on this podcast that he's installing an oven at H2O because I could sit there and bake for everybody. But but thank you guys again for tuning in and hanging out with us, and stay safe and all that fun stuff. So Griffin, thank you again for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a